Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome from Australia. My name is Chrissy, and today I'm going to be giving you a prediction reading for the 12th of May. Now, for anyone who's been searching for my Facebook, I just want to clarify that I have two Facebook pages. One is my private that I just tend to keep for family as my family lives away. So I tend to keep that just protected from all the V stuff. As I get checked a lot. So if you want to look for my Facebook page, it's Chrissy Fitzgerald, Psychic Life Coach. I should pop up, that's my public Facebook page, so you'll find me under there, and I've got bits and pieces that I post on there to do with our the readings and things that we share. So go and check out my Facebook page if you like. And I am on Instagram as well. So I have pictures of my gardens and some of my passions on there if anyone's interested in that. I've got a public Instagram as well. Now I'm just going to close my eyes and we'll just get started. Okay, they're showing me like a helicopter hovering. So it's probably hovering, I'd say about 10 meters off the ground. So they're showing me like it, and it's creating that big wind squall. You know how the helicopter really creates that. It's very turbulent wind energy that the helicopter kind of produces. Like, it's very hard. You always see people near helicopters going kind of like this, and that's kind of the energy that I'm getting. Things are getting very turbulent. Now, what they're saying is that, like, you think of the helicopter, it's close to landing. So we could take this as a positive thing, that maybe information is going to be landing. I hope so. Truths would be good if they started landing. So I'm getting that something's about sort of to land. Because it's showing me that really turbulent sort of wind and the helicopter kind of disrupting everything, I feel like that's kind of what this is about. It's kind of saying, like, when that lands, it's going to throw everything off. So, gosh, I hope it is about information and the truth, but it's getting close. So the indication of the helicopter is that it's getting close and it's already starting to kind of stir things up. I don't know if anyone saw it, but there's been a recent post about I know the Johnson & Johnson, we've talked about that before, having side effects with different things. But the FDA has now come out and talked about the clotting in young women. So that's pretty big. That's pretty good evidence. If they're saying they're going to avoid using that's big evidence. It doesn't matter who it's for. I mean, we know the big companies are kind of protected, as we say, by their puppet masters. But any proof and evidence and things that are coming out is positive, so we have to always tick that off as, that's a step closer to the truth coming out. So I know that's recently just come out. In the last, I think, couple of days that's come out. So there's so many things that are starting to rise to the surface. So we have to take every little thing as a positive in getting closer to the truths unfolding. Because if we're seeing that information and things coming out, other people are seeing it. It's not just us that are seeing it now. Other people are seeing it. And that's why they're waking up. So that's what I'm getting, that helicopter. It feels like something's going to land. I'll see what else we get today around this. They're showing me like jelly beans. So they're showing me thousands and thousands of jelly beans dropping. So it's like all these lollies, like jelly beans, are dropping. And what they're saying to me, the representation of the jelly beans is, when you think of jelly beans, you tend to think of them as in, they sell a lot of them in pharmacies, chemists, and they also are a very significant kind of food that can balance out diabetes. So they're showing me that they're going to be needing lots of jelly beans. Now, oh my goodness, what does this all mean? So if you think about diabetes, sometimes to get the levels right, they have to have a really quick hit of sugar. I think they talk about having a can of Coke or something too, but Jellybeans is like the go-to. I know if anyone knows anyone who's got diabetes, they do tend to have Jellybeans nearby. To it does something to their insulin. I'm not exactly sure. If you're diabetic out there, you can probably tell us down below a little bit more about it. But this is the image that I'm getting about the Jellybeans. Like, and it's saying they're going to need thousands and thousands and thousands of Jellybeans. Now, I'm not sure if they're saying to me that this could affect people's diabetes moving forward. Gosh, I really hope not. But we know that these things are starting to actually have an effect on people's immune systems. And it could even be not necessarily as severe as sort of type 1 diabetes, but it could also be that people's energy levels are going to drop. Like we might find that there might be more fatigue around the sort of side effects. And, you know, they keep calling it, I know, they keep calling it long C. I won't say it because my channel gets checked so much. That's the new narrative, is that you can end up, if you've had the C, V, you can end up with very long C. And that means it drags on and you have fatigue after you've had it. Which is like when you have any flu, really. You do get very tired. It takes you quite a while to sort of pick up your energy. And that's kind of why they're showing me that jelly bean thing, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of fatigue. And look, to be honest, it could even be that there's a lot of fatigue around this whole event. Gosh, we're tired from it. You've got to remember that everybody else is getting tired of this as well. So, you know, hence the thousands and thousands of jelly beans, because if we all have a couple of jelly beans, it can give you a bit of that quick energy boost and quick bit of sustenance. That's why they're always in chemists. I always grab a bag. If I'm ever in there, my daughter and I just scoff them. We're terrible. We put them in the console of the car, and by the time we get home, they're all gone. So they give you that little bit of energy boost is probably the image that they're giving me. And that's something that they're showing, like the bright colours. But then there's the reason, you know, and we could get, I think I said something the other day about getting colour back into our life. I did. And it's also, it could be about that, like bringing that colour back into your life, because that's what they're trying to say. Like if you keep bringing colour back into your life, it can re-energise you and bring up your strength and your power, and your levels of fatigue can sort of wane and subside because you're re-energizing yourself. I don't mean you literally have to eat jelly beans. You can do that too, like my daughter and I, like I told you. But you know, this is also about bringing colour into your life. So this is about, you know, recreating our lives and getting, you know, fun. Colour to me always represents fun, happiness, joy. And this is what the guides are kind of saying. We need thousands and thousands of jelly beans to sort of bring that colour, bring our energy back, you know, and that's what I'm saying. That's the kind of imagery they're giving me, is these people are going to need lots of jelly beans. And I mean, that could be that you might take vitamins, you might start to eat healthier too. These are the kind of analogies kind of that they're giving me around this jelly bean scenario, but it's bringing that colour and joy back into your life as well. I'll just see what else we get today. I'm definitely getting that governments are stopping. God, they're tired. Governments are tired as well, because they wanted this to just roll out. But it says that they're having to stop a few things, and these are the hurdles that are being put in front of them. Now, this could be around legislation. This could be about bill passing. They're getting frustrated in government and parliament. I talked about that yesterday. But they're getting very frustrated now because their path's not smoothed. And I did talk about the hurdles being put in front of government and that now by the people. Well, this is what's starting to happen now. People aren't falling for their games anymore, is sort of what the guides are trying to say. People are seeing through the games. So they're kind of seeing that when things get implemented, they're realising that it's not always in their favour. It's always in the elites and government's favour. And people are really starting to see that now. And this is where they're starting to wake up. Because bits of information is spilling out. Other parliamentary leaders are calling them out. We've got a lot of sort of senators here who are interviewing injured people about the jab. We've got lots of information coming out here in Australia, and people are gathering and they're grouping this information together because, sorry, everybody is so tired today. This is just exhausting. This whole experience has just been so damn exhausting for everybody, not just you and I watching this channel. This is exhausting for everybody now. Remember, people thought they'd get their jab and move on with their life. It has not happened. And we're still going through all this nonsense and garbage. And like I said, even the governmentary leaders and parliamentarians have had enough as well, because they just wanted it all to be smooth and easy, and it hasn't been like that. It hasn't been that easy. And what's happened now is, because it's dragged on, it's given, like I said in the beginning of the year, the longer this drags on, the more information starts to come out, and the more that people start to wake up because they start to find out the information. So that's what we wanted. We didn't want the rollout to come straight out. We needed to have those pushbacks in order to delay that. And that's what's causing the governments and that to get tired of all this too, because they're having to rehatch their plans and make things sound better and be more delicate with the people. You know, they've all realised after Trudeau, I know you in Canada are over there, hi everybody out there, they know that Trudeau's heavy foot didn't work very well with the people. Everybody knows that it made Trudeau look absolutely horrible, like a monster, which he is. But it actually made him look even worse. It made him look like a real dictator. And we know that that's what he wants to look like and be perceived as. Gosh knows why. It's very strange, isn't it? I think I'd rather be seen as like DeSantis, is it, in Florida? He's got a sort of a softer reputation for listening to the people, that is. So I'm definitely getting that today, that they're all tired as well. So I'll see what else we get today. Now they're showing me our lives. So if you're watching my video, they're showing me it's like clipping a hedge. So you might have an English box hedge or some sort of hedge that's a bit bedraggled. Well, now they're showing me that we're clipping them into shapes. It's like if you have a Japanese garden, which I'm personally into. I love that sort of Zen gardening. And you've got your kind of ball shape happening now. It's a very, we're starting to kind of structure our life, and we're forming our life, and we're creating our life. And that's the image of the sort of ball. If you think of that Japanese garden, you'll get a lot of things in that sort of ball shape, and there's a lot of curves, a lot of softness. Well, this is representing our lives. We're the ones that are now sort of trimming those hedges and getting them into shape. So it's almost like, I guess you could call it like, what do you call it? A little bit like a topiary as well. But it's like we're actually creating the forms of our life now. So we're putting our energy into those things, which bring us back into that now. You know, if you think of anything like bonsai or clipping or gardening and things like that, it's a very calming activity. It's always related to that now process of getting your thoughts. For anyone who's kind of watched Karate Kid, you think of Mr. Miyagi, you know, trimming his little bonsais and spending hours and hours just clipping. And this is kind of the image that they're giving me, is that that's what we're doing now. We're clipping off any dead leaves. We're nurturing the soil, which is nurturing ourselves. We're creating the forms of the plant or the rounded sort of box hedge or some sort of hedge. We're rounding that so things can flow around it. So we're not going to be sort of knocked over by the wind. We're very stable. Same with, you know, bonsais and things like that. You usually wire them so they're stronger in the pot. This is the kind of representation that I'm getting, is that we're creating our life, we're shaping it, we're strengthening ourselves, and we're allowing sort of that shape for the wind to flow around it. So we're creating much better flow, and we're also creating that calmer. By doing that and looking after ourselves, we're creating a clearer and stronger mind. And I think, look, I've heard from a lot of you down below. You can comment today too. I love hearing from you guys. That a lot of you are really doing that. You're really finding that clearer headspace. We're feeling stronger. We're sort of uniting together. And we're not feeling as isolated in our madness as we were probably a year ago. And that's definitely the message I'm getting today about this sort of clipping, almost like the bonsai or trimming that hedge. They're the things that we're doing. Like, you don't have to do it literally. You can do it literally. I do it literally. I clip my plants a lot in my Japanese garden, but you don't have to be doing that. You might just go out and just rake up some leaves. It really doesn't matter what you're doing, but you're tidying up and you're forming things in your life that are clearing up your headspace and bringing you into that now moment, which I always talk about is the healthiest place to be. So that's what I'm definitely getting, like the Karate Kid, like I said, Mr. Miyagi, he used that, the bonsai trimming and pruning and these kind of things to calm his mind space. And that's a good image that I want you to hold today. But you're actually doing that. That's how we're moving forward at the moment. We're clipping, we're tidying up, removing dead wood, like I said yesterday. And this is where we're at in our part of this journey. And we're allowing that much better flow. So when you're allowing better flow, you get that information coming to you. You get the things that you're needing to hear. You're also sharing information with other people and still planting those seeds and watering them. Don't forget that, to help other people to wake up. And I'll just see if there's any last messages today as well. I think the other week I talked about the tribe had spoken to do with the Survivor show when they actually vote people off at the end and they put the names into the little buckety thing and the guy calls out the names. Well, this is kind of, gosh, I hope so. This is around a lot of elections. I really feel there's going to be a lot of shifts and changes in elections. And when you think of an elimination, sometimes it is the vote off. So fingers crossed, here in Australia, we go to the vote soon, but there's going to be a few people voted in, the freedom fighters and independents, and a few others voted off. But that's the image they're definitely showing me today, is that there could be a few politicians rather, that are going to start being voted off the island, Survivor Island, because I don't think they're all going to survive. We'll get a handful that definitely survive, but they thought they were going to do this en masse. But when you think about it, it's like, for example, like when a football team, someone does a bad tackle or something goes wrong and then they get pulled off the field for the game. So then you're down a player and then you get something else happens and someone gets injured and then you're down 2 players. Like, you really have to fight hard to still sort of win that battle, whether it be football or whatever it is, because you're short 2 players and they've still got their full team. So this is kind of what the guides are saying to me. This is around government. When people start to get eliminated and voted out, that's when the things start to not be as formed. Like, you think of a team, if you lose 2 good players that have got pivotal positions in the football team, if they're sitting on the side bench, that means that, how do you fill those gaps? So that leaves a void, which the plan doesn't go quite to plan. So this is kind of what they're showing me today. That's the example, is that when people get voted out, it leaves holes and it leaves gaps in their agendas. And you don't just get people that just come in and just take over because they don't know half the time what's even been going on. So this is what I'm getting. When people get voted out, and that's why I always talk about, it's very important to get your votes right, no matter where you're living. Gosh, in Victoria, you better get your votes right in November with Dan Andrews, because, he's going to create havoc down there otherwise. So that's what I'm definitely getting. If people get voted out, that's when there can be change and things start to shift. And getting those minor independent parties is very important to getting our voices in, to have a say in some of these bills, some of the things they're passing. Gosh, in America, I think you're getting things passed. Canada, it's like happening anyway. I don't even know how Trudeau does that when he's got a huge like government. How can they all be that corrupt? I just don't understand. But anyway, this is kind of what we're dealing with. So that's what I'm definitely getting, is that when this is, and this could also come back to that where I said their towers were collapsing a little bit, because they thought they were just building up to their big penthouse, and everything was just going to plan with the reset agenda and everything they wanted to roll out, the digital currency and all this. And then suddenly people have started waking up, which is what we wanted, to stretch this all out, and they're voting differently. So people are getting ousted. And that's what's definitely happening. There's this little crumbling effect that it's not as stable anymore. Like I said, it's like if you take the two football players off the field, suddenly you don't have that same dynamics because you had things probably set up in your head. And now what? This is when things start to collapse and sort of crumble and not go to plan. So I want you to keep that image in your head today about the football game. Like if you remove two players, like if you remove two people from Parliament, that allows things to crumble, and they don't have that just smooth run to sort of score a try. And that's what we've got to think of it with government and parliamentarians, that it's not all going perfectly to plan because people are seeing it and people are starting to get fed the information now, so they can make an informed decision and a good judgment about how they want their life to unfold. And that's why they're starting to shape things like the hedge and the bonsais and doing the things that they want to create and have that calmness in their life. People don't want all this chaos that they're being fed. It's getting to the point it's just ridiculous. And you can't tell me that people aren't. I mean, we all know about the reset and what they're really pushing. You know, you'll own nothing, you'll be happy. I think if they started running that quote past people at the election here, that people might sort of start to scratch their head and go, how am I going to be happy? How's it going to make me happy? You're going to be happy. I'm not going to be happy. So this is the kind of stuff. It's happening. And you have to trust. That's what the guys are saying. I'll see if there's any last message today. Oh, the guys are funny. They're cheeky, aren't they? They said, go and buy a bag of treats today. Maybe a bag of jelly beans. But go get any treat. I'll probably go get some chocolate. I can't help myself, you know. It's us women. We've got to have our chocolate, just like the coffee and all the essentials. So the guys are just having a bit of a laugh today. But they're saying, yeah, keep that colour coming into your life and keep your energy up, because it's that fatigue that's starting to really drag everybody down. It's coming up a lot lately, isn't it? And I'm yawning so much. It's so bad, but I have to share it with you because that's just part of the reading. So anyway, thanks for watching today. I appreciate all my great subscribers out there. Please comment. You know, I love hearing from you and we all have a chat. Hit the like buttons, of course. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification for when my videos pop up. I pretty much do them daily. If I skip, it's just occasionally. And I will say goodbye from Australia, and I'll see you very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.